He brought his experience to serve first jurisdiction residents of the Judicial Commission on Mental Health. He established the Bexar County Children's Court and provided specialized services for children, and the Family Court in Bexar County, which handled CPS cases and became a model for the entire state and really the entire nation. People still talk about that court. So help me in welcoming Judge Specia.
Okay, guys, this is the bottom of the ninth. This is going to be a little bit like speed dating. We have an enormous crowd. I'm going to go through each of the regions, and you've got 3 minutes to answer 2 questions. What is the one area in which your county can serve as a mentor? We have an enormous state, and we have things going on in every part of the state, and there are good things going on in every county. So in your county, what can you do to help other counties like you? Number 2, what is the one area that your county is seeking a mentor? We have a lot of resources, and we have a lot of people, and through the Judicial Commission on Mental Health, we can help put people together. So we're going to start with Region 1, Lubbock, Floyd, and Hale. Where are you guys? Lubbock, Floyd, and Hale. Are y'all AWOL, or are y'all here? Your speaker went to get coffee. We're coming back. Okay, we're going to go to Potter, Randall, Gray, and Childress. All right, over there. Somebody take a mic to those folks. Right, no, right over there. Far front right.
Okay, so our region was actually divided, or our group, by 2 different LMHAs, the Helen Farabee LMHA and Texas Panhandle Centers. So we broke into smaller groups so that we could work within our LMHAs. So for Texas Panhandle Centers, we had in our counties of Potter and Randall, it's a pretty unique situation because the city of Amarillo is divided by both counties. So one of the things that we identified as one of our strengths where we could potentially be a mentor is the relationship and the communication with the local mental health authority and the counties and law enforcement. That is a really strong asset. Even though we don't have anything strategically developed, the communication is there where we're trying to break down the barriers and find a solution. So one of the areas where we feel that we need mentorship is in developing a regional mental health court. And the reason why it's regional is because, like I said, Amarillo is divided by 2 counties. So what one county is doing affects the population in that city because they all live there. And we're also the hub, the urban hub, I guess, for our rural communities, even though we're not really urban.
Thank you. Helen, for those of you that have been around a long time, or particularly for those that have not been, Helen Farabee was the wife of a state senator and one of the early leaders in the mental health area. So it's neat that your LMH is named after her. Is the person from Lubbock back yet? Did he get his coffee? Not yet. Okay. Brown, Taylor, and Wichita. Region 2. Okay. Got a mic coming to you.
Okay, so we are really comprised of Taylor County, which is in Abilene, and Wichita Falls, which is Wichita County. And we really kind of quickly came to consensus yesterday about the things that we feel like we could be helpful to others on. We have a program in Taylor County that started in Taylor County. We call Jail Navigator, where we have a position who works out of Taylor County Jail. And we started that to have a single point person. We had for years been working together and collaborating, providing services to people in the jail, but often found that there were some challenges related to communication with so many people being involved. So this Jail Navigator works there and does some crisis in person, but also is now the point person for a lot of the other things that need to be happening. It worked out so well that we were able to go to our rural counties and we've expanded to them. They're all participating in the cost of a second position and using telemedicine, so this service is available to them. So we felt like that's been very good and very helpful and something that we could share with others. In terms of the question of what could we use help for, we had the same answer as this group. We have a lot of interest in mental health court, and many of our local judicial folks have expressed interest also, but the workload in any single county isn't necessarily large enough to do it separately, so we would like some help in thinking through a way to do that across our multi-county areas. Betty Hardwick Center is the LMHA in Abilene. We have 5 counties, and Helen Farabee covers 19 counties. And so formulating some sort of regional mental health court would be helpful for us.
Thank you very much. Collin County, where's Collin County? Okay, can you get a mic? Region 3E. Go ahead and introduce yourself when you start.
Hi, my name is Matt Goheen. I'm Collin County. I'm the president of the Criminal Defense Bar, so I'm a bit of an outlier here. I'm going to do this a little backwards because at Collin County we're really good on the back end, and not so good on the front end. We need help on, I think they were described as encounters earlier. I call it the sharpening the stick, where the public are meeting both the law enforcement agencies as well as needing help with the hotlines and mental health crisis. Both of those we are lacking in. We have 3 different law enforcement agencies. We cannot get on the same page. So a lot of our mental health and mentally ill defendants end up in the system, and they don't know to call crisis hotlines. And as was said earlier, our first reaction on any crisis is to call 911, and their first reaction is to put them in the jail. Now, that's where we need help. Where we're really good at is once they're in the jail, Elise Ferguson, who's here today, we have a mental health system and mental health attorneys. We're a very small wheel. They demand extra training. I myself, my wife is a mental health professional. So we have some understanding on these, and we have become really good at downtime in the jail, getting them services, and for the most part, limiting exposure within the criminal justice system when they don't need to be prosecuted and or convicted. So we're really good at the back end. We need help on the front end, so we're not doing so much on the back end.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Are the people from Lubbock County here yet? Great, let's do that.
Okay, so this is in the category of fashionably late. I'm telling you, Judge Specia, this room is like a transformer. When I literally left to get a cup of coffee and use the ladies' room and came back, and I'd already missed my curtain call, so forgive me. My name is Beth Lawson. I'm the CEO of the LMHA, Local Mental Health Authority in Lubbock. We're known as Star Care Specialty Health System. In our small group, we were half of Region 1, which included Lubbock County, Floyd County, and Hale County. And some of the conversations we had, I'll start with areas of opportunity. In Region 1, there are 3 LMHAs. So it's Texas Panhandle, it's Central Plains Center, and Star Care Specialty Health Center. And so what we know is that having LMHAs that cover different parts of the same region or different counties is very difficult. And so we thought that maybe we could do a little better of combining some of our conversations into more of the LMHA region as opposed to the State Health Services region, because the State Health Services region really doesn't make as much sense in terms of how business actually gets done in the Panhandle. And so we talked about that. I was particularly excited to talk to Floyd County and Hale County in that we've not really had an opportunity or an occasion to talk through what's working well with Central Plains Center and what their issues are. And surprisingly enough, in West Texas, even though Lubbock is we call it a metropolis and a small metropolis in a vast area, it's about some of the same issues. We really are needing to focus on guardianship, and some of our judges have talked a lot about guardianship of last resort. Judge Farmer, who is my board chair, is actually a person that's working on some guardianship issues for the state. And so that is impacting all of us because we know we have a lot of issues where we can't support people because of a lack of informed consent or lack of a legally authorized representative. Some of the things that are really working well in our region include the Lubbock area has just completed a very comprehensive 6-party commissioned Meadows needs assessment for mental health. 6 partners out of the Lubbock area paid quite a bit of money to commission a Meadows study. We were really pleased with the process and the outcomes. Unlike any other system, I'm sure, wink, wink. One of the findings was there was a lot of opportunity for collaboration. There's a lot of desire for collaboration, but guess what? No coordination. And so we thought, okay, well, yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. And so with Floyd County in particular and Hale County talking about Central Plains Center, they talked a lot about incidental and transactions. They need them, they're there. They need them, they're there. And so I was thinking that that for all of us, we probably need to think through a little better some of the systemic issues that we could work out ahead of time as opposed to once the situation starts. But it was a really great opportunity for us to work with some new counties, and I appreciated the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Collaboration is a very easy thing to talk about and a very hard thing to do. Dallas-Kaufman County, Region 3E. Right there. One of our smaller counties.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Matt Roberts, Director of Provider Relations for the North Texas Behavioral Health Authority. I'm going to call up my notes here. We determined there were 2 areas that we could offer mentorship in, and that includes care coordination and in JBCR, OCR, jail-based competency restoration and outpatient competency restoration. When we thought about the areas where we would need or would welcome mentorship, those included jail diversion and jail deflection, and also cross-jurisdictional regional collaboration. We hypothesized we may have a mechanism to foster that, but any successful models at making sure that different elements of the system know what other jurisdictions have to offer, models for that kind of communication would be welcome. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Grayson Fannin. Okay, we got the mic coming to you.
Thank you, and it's just Grayson Fannin wasn't able to be here, but they're our little neighbor to the east, and so we're proud to call both of them. Let me tell you, in Grayson County, we're doing some exciting things, and what we've done is we've got about 125,000+ citizens. We've been really neglectful for mental health as a county-wide, so we brought together a collaborative, and we have education, law enforcement, our hospitals. We've all come together, formed a nonprofit, and we're doing a Meadows community evaluation right now. We're learning a lot, and we're trying to put our LMHA and raise them to say, they're the horse that we're going to have to ride. Let's encourage them. Let's support them. And they've done a great job, and just what we can, I think, mentor is we got some SB 292 funds. Out of that, through them, we have 8 transition beds, which was something we really needed because we didn't have any place for anybody to go. Staff continuity of care at our 3 counties, including Fannin County, and that's very important in our jails. With that, a case manager for our non-Takumi caseload for the 2 smaller counties in our area, including Fannin County. Those are really important to put those things together. Then also in our county, the 17032 article, Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the personal bond release. We came together, got our DA, got our judges, got our law enforcement together and say, we want one form, we want to make sure we all know what it looks like, we've agreed to, how do we do this? So I think we can be a mentor in that area. And we took HB 13 funds, worked, and not just doing CIT training, but real training for our police officers from our small our small police officers to, or state police departments to our county sheriff's department, and we're really training officers and how to deal with those that we're here talking about. What we need help on is how do we work with our mental health care professionals to make sure that they will follow the same standard operating procedures our law enforcement. Law enforcement's real good at knowing this is what I have to do, and when they show up at a hospital and the hospital is like, we don't know what to do, or we're not supposed to do that, how do we encourage them to do that? We need some help with that. And then also how to do more with less, including competency restoration. Thank you.
I don't think you introduced yourself at the beginning.
I'm Judge Larry Phillips. I'm a district judge there for about a year. So.
And Larry just came in and really took the bull by the horns, and he was the convener. And that role, you brought all those folks together, so I appreciate the work you've done.
It helped to have the black robe to do that. I had been a state rep for 16 years and came back, and now I'm a judge. And so I can have a different hat, and it's exciting. There were people like our JP here, Rita Noel, and others that have been pushing it, but to be able to come in and say, let's all get together, it's been awesome.
Great. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Okay, Denton County. Denton is way back in the room. I love the way I'm doing this. I'm running the people all across. And introduce yourself before you talk.
I'm Collin Christopherson. I'm an attorney that represents individuals in front of the mental health court, and I'm with Denton County. We have a number of things going on in our county that I think are not revolutionary, but on the cutting edge. We're in transition really from a rural to an urban county. We've got a lot of population growth in the last few years that have necessitated a lot of change. One thing that we're doing really well right now is we're coordinating with a number of different entities and agencies to develop a comprehensive plan on how to deal with individuals. We've got the sheriff, the law enforcement from other areas, the DA, the mental hospitals, the court. Everybody is working together to develop a plan to shepherd people through the system and to prevent their meeting me in the front of the court, really. One of the programs that's being instituted is that the sheriffs are going to be taking a MHMR representative out to meet frequent flyers in front of the court in order to prevent seeing them in the future, to kind of just do a knock and talk, make sure they're doing well, they're getting the treatment, they're getting their meds. We're also looking into use of telemedicine with those individuals and seeing MHMR representative in other capacities or through the jail. One thing that we could use assistance on is developing a plan to have the schools in the area more involved. As a number of these incidents or mental health issues pop up in high schools, or that's when a lot of the mental issues start to appear, and to involve the schools and the parents in the process in order to spot a lot of these issues before they become worse.
Thank you. Great. And I think that working with the schools and bringing them into the equation is very, very important. Okay, Tarrant, Hood, and Johnson.
My name's Rain Wallace. I'm with the Tarrant County Mental Health Diversion Program. We actually separated Tarrant County from Johnson and Hood County. So some of the things that we discussed within the Tarrant County side for some of the problem and the needs that we discussed were establishing a method for the probate courts to conduct medication by electronic broadcast. We also discussed expanding mental health services by the creation of the following: drop-off facility for low-level mental health offenders as an alternative to arrests, to establish a detox facility, and to improve services for the elderly with mental health problems. We also discussed a need to establish a formal competency restoration program for juveniles. So some of the things that we discussed that we're doing well is going to be just ongoing collaboration through frequently scheduled meetings to address the local mental health issues. We also discussed the Local Mental Health Connection, which is a community-based forum for addressing mental health needs from both the civil and criminal side of our community. We also discussed how well all of our stakeholders and community agencies have done when it comes to embracing trauma-informed care. And then we also, Tarrant County Mental Health Diversion Program, we recently just had our 500th graduate complete the program successfully.
Thank you. Okay, the next person or next county is Region 4, Anderson, Titus, Hopkins, Smith, and Wood. Where are you guys? Ready for any of those counties? Oh, way over there. Okay, great. The question is, what are you willing to mentor other people on, and what might you need mentorship with?
I'm Rachel Harrington. I'm the Adult Program Manager with Community Health Corps and LMHA in East Texas, which is where we're all located. It's to Louisiana. So a couple of things that we discussed that we could possibly be a mentor towards others, especially in rural areas, is that we have utilized creative ways to try to operate our OCR and jail diversion programs. We talk with court coordinators, we talk to defense attorneys, and sometimes going through them rather than going straight towards the judge or straight towards some of the higher level officials, especially since we have such a large population and things coming in and not a lot of officials to do that. Another thing that we've done positively is, according to Health and Human Safety Code 614, we've been able to share information. In a couple of our jails, we have our electronic health record available in the jail, as well as the jail allowing us to access their Odyssey or whatever your jail may use, and that really helps for information sharing. In terms of what we could use mentorship, especially in our more rural areas, we could use help with some judicial buy-in. So some of you bigger judges, if you'd like to reach out, that would be great, and let them know that the services that our local mental health authority offer are going to be the same services that they offer in a state hospital, just on an outpatient level. And getting some of the judicial officials to really understand not only the cost savings, but that the work and the outcome that you're going to get is equal to a state hospital, and ultimately saves a lot of forensic beds that are being taken that don't need to be taken.
Thank you very much. Okay, I've got Region 5 down, but I don't have a county attached to it. There's anybody from Region 5, or did Region 5 meet? Way in the back corner. Judicial buy-in is something that the Judicial Commission can work on and help with, so.
Hi, I'm Melanie Taylor, the CEO of Burke, which represents Region 5. We have 12 counties. And one of the things that we feel like we're doing real well is in our stakeholder group meetings. We do have 12 counties that are spread out over 10,000 square miles. And we meet with each county once a quarter. And then those stakeholders include the law enforcement, hospital ERs, our local Alcohol and Drug Abuse Council, our FQHC, just anyone that we can find out that is a stakeholder that wants to attend. And then on a biannual basis, we meet with the chair of each of those, comes to our main office, and we have a large meeting of all the counties. And this resulted about 10 years ago in us applying for funds from the state to create a psychiatric emergency center. And I think that stakeholder group and their buy-in allowed them to provide the match for us to be able to get that state funding. So there's several things we need help with, but one of the main ones is getting our rural areas to collaborate to set up a mental health court. We have 3 larger counties, and we have one in one of those larger counties, but it's real difficult for our smaller counties to determine exactly how to make that happen.
Great, thank you very much. Region 6, Brazoria, Galveston, Fort Bend, and Montgomery.
Hello, my name is Shane Vandergriff. I'm the supervisor, mental health for Brazoria County Sheriff's Office. The things that we can offer people is we have over 30 years of experience placing mental health units paid for by the county in the early 80s with Galveston. The partnerships that we have with Gulf Coast Center is amazing. They help us every single day. We're also currently working on putting telemed into our hands of our police officers so that they can have quicker access to mental health clinicians. The things that we need help with is mental health courts. That is one thing that we're pushing very hard currently in Brazoria County and Galveston County.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sheriff. Region 6, Harris County. Harris County?
Montgomery County. Yeah, so we split up, I guess, into different areas.
Split up.
Region 6, Montgomery County. My name is Mike Shirley. I'm an assistant DA in the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office. Some of the strengths that we have currently, we have a very robust, I think, mental health court program. We also have an outpatient conflict restoration program that's run through the local Tri-County system there. We also have an inpatient facility within the county that helps us as well. But I think some of the areas that we could probably strengthen is the Intercept 1, where we intercept with the public CIT programs. We have 2 currently with 2 different agencies, but I think that we could expand that county-wide, as well as sharing data between the different agencies to help out. When a different agency may interact with an individual, they can maybe find out if another agency has dealt with them before.
Thank you very much. Okay, Harris County. We split up further. Okay, Fort Bend. And then we'll get to Harris. I'll get there soon.
I'm Harris. I'll wait till Fort Bend goes, wherever they are.
Fort Bend, go ahead. We've got another mic up here. Sure. You need to turn it on, and the mic's going to get to you before that. So.
Here, this one for sure works.
My name is Chris Morales. I'm judge of Law Number 1 in Fort Bend. I also oversee the misdemeanor mental health court. So Region 6 broke up into counties because of the difference between the counties, size difference, and just the diversity of the counties. So when we were tackling the 2 questions, we broke down the intercept model, and we went through each checkbox to kind of determine where our strengths were and deficiencies were as well. So as being mentors, we discovered that we could be mentors in multiple areas. We have 2 mental health courts in Fort Bend. We have a misdemeanor mental health court and a felony mental health court. We also discovered that we have quite a few resources available in the county. But most importantly, we discovered our data collection is superior when it comes to contacts with individuals with MI and IDD law enforcement contacts. Now, when it comes to deficiencies within the county and where we need to be, we need a mentor. More than anything, we need to establish a jail competency restoration program. Right now, we're sending way too many individuals out of the county, and we could truly save a lot of money if we were just to establish that. So we're in the process of looking into that and trying to figure out a way to go about establishing that program. So if there's anybody that can provide any guidance in that area, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think Brazoria, has Galveston reported yet? Okay, they reported together. Okay. Harris County.
Good morning. My name is Wayne Young. I'm the CEO for the Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD, which is the local mental health authority for Harris County. In terms of mentoring, we just spent a little bit talking about our diversion center, which we're proud of and think might be impactful for others. Similarly, in terms of law enforcement collaborations, we just finished a year-long pilot where we put tablets in the hands of deputies to basically extend the CERT teams so that deputies responding to 911 calls in the field can have access to mental health clinicians to help them with decision making. Additionally, another opportunity that I think is ripe for a lot of us is we've embedded crisis clinicians in the 911 call center. So when calls come into 911, we can actually grab those calls out of the queue, de-escalate those individuals, and never actually have to dispatch law enforcement and in some cases EMS to those scenes. And that's saved us a lot of money and probably a lot of heartache as well. And where we could use a little bit of mentorship is, frankly, I think we're struggling trying to figure out how to utilize the 1622 evaluations in a way that's meaningful and impactful to the system. Last year, we had a little over 28,000 of those orders. And in the context of a pretty robust mental health system, that's tricky to figure out how to do that and have it be impactful and not just an adjunctive responsibility. We also talked about, in the spirit of multiple mentorship opportunities. We talked about the need for us to better handle on safe housing that's supportive of people's recovery as they transition either from long stays in the state hospital or in GRI, individuals who are deemed in GRI coming back into our community. We don't feel like we've got adequate housing supports that are appropriate and supportive and contributes to longer term and continued recovery for those individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard the presentation on their new transition center. The interesting thing about that center, even though they're the third largest county in the nation, city in the nation, it started with the cooperation of the district attorney, the chief of police, and the sheriff. And that collaboration with the local mental health authority was able to move it forward very, very quickly. Okay, Region 7, Bell, Coryell, Hamilton, Lampasas, and Milam. And did y'all work as a group or did y'all split up? Group, okay, here.
Thank you. My name is Katie Martin. I'm the director of specialty courts and social work with Bell County. Actually, only 2 of our 5 counties listed were present, so the ideas are predominantly Bell County and Coryell County. But insofar as what we could mentor other counties with, we're really good at communicating across departments, partners within the sequential intercept model, and really coming up with more out-of-the-box community collaboratives to be able to sit down and bring processes and procedure together. We believe we developed a creative solution in reference to the Sandra Bland Act and responding to that. Our local LMHA covers all 5 counties, so we were able to contract with them in order to provide 2 qualified mental health professionals directly into our jail and in the court systems. What we could utilize mentorship with, ground level, step 1, insofar as a lot of things that we need to work on, but really a way to crunch our data in a general sense across departments and various databases, just to be able to paint an accurate picture of our county's progress and how we can move forward. So, thanks.
Thank you very much. We've got a band warming up someplace. Okay. Region 7, Brazos, Burleson, Leon, Washington, Robertson, Grimes, and Madison. Right there. I need a mic, guys.
I'm Robert Reed with the local mental health authority of Brazos Valley. A couple of things that we thought we were doing well is that we have developed at the LMHA a pretty robust mobile crisis outreach team that we think complements the CIT very well. We also believe that we have a pretty good collaboration with law enforcement in terms of meeting at least quarterly to look at challenges and opportunities. And we also have been able to really streamline our 1622 processes to allow for the magistrate to have a little bit more information. We have staff in jails who review those screening forms and able to provide the magistrate a little bit more information to make a determination on whether or not they need to order a 1622 report. Some of the areas where we think we may need some mentoring is we're trying to develop mental health courts and also bringing to bear resources, particularly crisis resources for those individuals who may be experiencing crisis who are both IDD and have mental health issues.
Thank you very much. Region 7 is and Burnett, Williamson, Lee, Bastrop, Caldwell, Fayette, Guadalupe, and Gonzales, a small little swath of Texas.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Lemion with Bluebonnet Trails Community Services. I'm the Director of Jail Diversion. The things that we felt like we could mentor someone with is our collaboration, our relationship building with the judicial process that we have in our 8 counties. We have great relationships and we work out things that go from a rather large county to a very, very small county to be able to provide those resources to get them the assistance that they need. The one thing we felt like we may could use some mentorship in is maybe jail-based competency restoration and outpatient competency restoration for the community to kind of relieve that pipe to the hospital.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead. And tell me which county you're talking about.
I'm the last, Region 7, McLennan, Limestone, Freestone, Hill, Bosque, and Falls. And my name is Daniel Thompson. I'm the Executive Director at Heart of Texas Region, MHMR. And what we do well is jail diversion, assessments, collaboration. We've got 50% of our counties here, which is also one of our challenges, is we're still missing 50%, but we think that's a pretty good start. We have ability to identify issues. I'm sorry, I'm having difficulty reading my notes. We have court. We have Veterans Court starting in January. We have our visiting judge we'll be picking that up in January. We have mental health court that starts in February as well. What our challenges are overcoming misconceptions. There are a lot of people that don't understand our scope of service or what our challenges are or what we can or cannot do. There's a lack of clear regulation, information on regulations such as what can we share among each other through HIPAA. And again, just the concerns about collaboration and not the folks that are not at the table, but we have judges, we have law enforcement, Sheriff Wilson, we have probation, and so we feel like we have a good representation, but we're still missing some partners.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Region 7, Travis County.
Hi, I'm Nancy Hohen, and I'm the judge of Travis County Court at Law Number 5, and I handle the mental health dockets for misdemeanors. What we have to offer, we have been meeting for probably 14 years on the issue of mental health jail diversion, but in 2012 we received a Bureau of Justice Assistance grant. It was a planning grant and helped us to establish the Behavioral Health Advisory Committee for our county. Recently, we have updated that, and it is a collaboration that includes all the relevant stakeholders. But what could be helpful to others is that we actually created bylaws. We have a specific membership list. We have voting and stuff like that, which can help to formalize the process and make sure people have an equal voice at the table. So we can provide that if anybody wants to mimic that in any way. The thing that we need help with is that the lack and shortage of psychiatrists in our community, and it's also across the state of Texas. Not only do we just lack psychiatrists generally, but we lack forensic psychiatrists. So we have a very difficult time having a psychiatrist in our jail, and that's pretty critical to get people seen quickly. So we would like to know how other counties do it, if they're able to do it. We don't know whether we need to like double our pay and steal from another county, but you know, we're willing if we have to. But I think that's a kind of a statewide issue, so I would hope that the commission would think about that.
That is clearly a statewide issue. There is work being done on that by the Meadows Mental Health Policy Foundation, and all of the directors of all the medical schools are meeting, and one of the major issues is how do we train more psychiatrists and specialty psychiatrists. It is clear you've got more in Travis County than anybody else has in many ways, but you don't have enough, and there are just a paucity of psychiatrists. I mean, West Texas is amazingly sparse, but a big issue in the state of Texas. Bexar County, my hometown, where you guys at?
So where we need help.
Okay, Gilbert, you got to introduce yourself.
Gilbert R. Gonzalez, Bexar County. Behavioral Health Department.
And you see how well he follows the judge's instruction.
Where we need help is because of the number of things that we're doing, it's often difficult to keep our judges informed. There's so much going on, and a lot of times the information just does not get through. So we could use help in that area. The other area is electronic communications and informations and so forth. It'd be, if there was some way that we could get that going, that would be very nice if we could get help on that. Ways that we can collaborate, that we can help and mentor. Number one is collaboration. I think we can do that. Number two is Jalynn Burley is right here, our local mental health Center for Healthcare Services Executive Director. If you're completely redoing your magistration system and you need help from your mental health authority, I'll tell you what, the presence of our clinicians from the local mental health authority allowed us to really have that piece as sort of the rock and the basis for mental health evaluations. So 1622 and 17032, I think we've got a very good handle of that, and that's in part because of the tremendous assist and participation from our local mental health authorities. Lastly, we have Judge Yolanda Huff right there, and she's got this specialty court collaboration, just efforts at informing the public, talking to judges, bringing the unbelievable when she has meetings, all the judges show up. So I think that's one place that we can help. And if I may add a shameless plug, Your Honor, tonight at 8 p.m. on HBO, for those that have HBO, we'll have the first public showing of Ernie and Joe, Crisis Cops. So please tune in. Thank you.
If you were not able to see that on Sunday night, do everything you can to see it tonight or get somebody to tape it. It's an extraordinary piece of documentary work on two cops and their CIT training. Amazing. Thank you, Gilbert. Appreciate it. Region 8, Comal, Hayes, Kendall, Medina, Uvalde, Kenny, Atascosa, Wilson, Bandera, and LaSalle. That's a big swath of Texas. Judge Dubose.
We split up a little. Okay. Hi, my name's Camille Dubose. I'm the district judge in Uvalde and Real counties. To give you an idea, population of Uvalde is about 28,000, Real somewhere between 5 and 8. I'm not exactly sure. Our LMHA is Hill Country MHDD. Things that I think we are doing well right now. As a result of this conference last year, I went back and convened and met with our JPs, our magistrates, our jail staff, our DA's office, everyone that's involved in the 1622 process, and we figured out what was supposed to go where and why we were doing that in the first place. There was a lot of confusion, who could release what. Now I'm getting the reports. I use them when I set bond after grand jury meets. Our DA uses them when they're conferring with defense counsel. The defense counsel gets the report so they know what's going on with their client. So I think we're doing that well. We also have a mental health specialty it's a felony post-adjudication specialty court. And as you see, that we're out in the sticks. We started on a shoestring. We didn't have, the only grant-funded position we had was our mental health caseworker. Everybody else already did the jobs that they're doing. We just did it in a different setting. Shout out to Judge Huff for helping us. I feel like we're really gelling now and doing well. And we've had success with our program. So we welcome anyone to come out and visit, and we'll be happy to give you whatever information that we can that would assist you. Ways we can improve. We visited today about CIT training for our court staff, for our bailiffs, for my court coordinator and people that deal with the general public, especially in the mental health court setting. There are circumstances that arise that sometimes I, as a judge, have no training on how to deal with that, and most judges don't. And so I think that would be very helpful for us. We also talked about doing advanced directives for people that are exiting our specialty court program so that they have that documentation and can take it with them once they're back out and off of probation, which would be great. We also need some help in collaborating with law enforcement and taking it to the next level. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Judge Dubose. There are a lot of counties in that group. Do any of the other counties want to say anything?
There are. We split up. So.
Okay, where's the other counties? In that big group, does anyone else want to report back there? And which counties are you from?
I am from Kendall County, Debbie Hudson, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. And it was a really good group, and I want to commend Judge Dubose for being very proactive here. We work with our nurse Nancy, and the magistrates have a good relationship with her, but we're having some problems with the 1622. So we are going to meet with Jim from Hill Country MHDD so we can resolve some of these issues, so we make sure that the nurse has a copy of the 1622 assessment. The district judge is involved in this process because we did have a prisoner who had an assessment, and then he also had an ED. We did a PR bond, and he was released on an ED, and he came back to court, and he got thrown back in jail. So we're lacking there. We're a small county, so we're just starting out at this. We have our first mental health officer. She just came into office October 1st, and she's going to set up training, CIT training, and I've asked that she include the judges also so that we're all on board and we're working together for a collaboration for everyone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Anybody else from that big group of counties wants to speak? Okay. The next is Region 9. Midland, Winkler, Howard, and Tom Green. Way back there.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Leonard, and I'm a district judge in Midland, Texas. If you're not doing jail-based restoration of competency, you are missing out. Anyone who wants to talk, we started it, and it's been amazing. It's not hard, it's not expensive. We also got a navigator in our jail. I'm sure y'all are all doing this, but when you're released from jail, do you get medicine? If you don't, we funded a deal where you get 14 days of your medicine so you can get to your doctor and hopefully stay on meds. We also do a mental health court, felony mental health court mainly, but some misdemeanors if anyone's interested in talking about that. What I really wanted help on is, as you all probably know, we had a shooting over Labor Day weekend, and I really want to focus on the schools and the telemedicine. I think Denton also mentioned that. I have a name for you. It's a gentleman who's a vice president from Texas Tech. I think Lubbock has a very successful program. We really need to figure out, it's almost tragic how few services there are in our rural counties. Over a huge geographical area of 4 huge counties, there's 1 probation officer. There are no mental health social workers, and there's no way to get them services. So somehow, some way, we have to figure out these huge multi-county, as I heard Taylor County and some of these other counties. Also, after yesterday's lunch, how can all of us not want to get training on trauma-informed care? And so I want to bring that to town also. If anyone has a problem with judicial buy-in, I'm always happy to talk to any other judge about anything mental health, so please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Leonard. Region 10, El Paso. Raise your hand, El Paso. There you are.
Good morning, Edie Pion, Region 10 for El Paso, which is only El Paso. I guess we're big enough. I'm with the El Paso County Public Defenders, and we have our elected county attorneys, some county attorneys, and Crystal Davis with our local mental health authority. We had a judge here, but I guess he had to leave early. Anyway, we decided we have been working on the 1622. I know El Paso County relied a lot on Bexar County. I think we have that down. The county attorney's office worked with the local mental health authority. We got local mental health authority mental services in the jail. That was the first phase. And then we had to redo the contract for the 1622s. We've been working a lot with the jail magistrates and those judges to work with them and educate them. We're fortunate in our office. We have social workers, so they're really able to work on plans to get them released. That way, even though 17032 says shall, somebody mentioned shall doesn't always mean shall. So it gives them some comfort. So we're doing okay on that. Like many people here, where we do need a little bit more help is with the mental health court. We have gotten a good start with Judge Dominguez. We have a committee. We've already gotten the commitment of the local mental health authority to have some caseworkers as part of it, probation department. I believe we've submitted some paperwork to the governor's office, county attorney work with commissioner's court. Judge Dominguez is been working with Judge Carr in Tarrant County. Right now it's just a matter of the details. Tweaking how that's all gonna work is where we need a little bit more guidance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Region 11, Aransas, San Patricia, and Nueces.
Hello, my name is Leo Trejo, and I'm representing Coastal Plains Community Center. We cover 9 counties surrounding Nueces. One of the things that we do really well is over the last 10 years, we've been collaborating with our local law enforcement, our judges, ER staff. We meet quarterly, and together we developed a crisis flow chart that really helps provide guidance to these different agencies. It helps with efficiency when it comes to people who are in crisis. It provides good guidance, and it's really improved that type of care that we provide to individuals in our community. One of the areas that we could benefit from, like some of the others had mentioned, are mental health courts. We don't have any in any of our counties. We do have a couple of drug courts, but mental health courts are something that would really help us in our area.
Thank you. Hidalgo, Webb, Cameron, and Zapata.
Good morning, I'm Terry Crocker. I'm the CEO of Tropical Texas Behavioral Health in the Lower Rio Grande Valley. Our group comprised of our counties and our neighbor to the north, Laredo, Zapata, Webb, Star, 7 counties through the border, primarily the border area of Deep South Texas, representing almost 2 million people that we provide or are responsible to provide services to. In our discussion, there's a lot of great things going on, a lot of excellent partnerships and collaboration. But from that discussion, I think the innovation in the ways that assisted outpatient treatment is being treated, some very innovative ideas and how those are happening in our area, I think are very important, and things could be promoted and replicated throughout the state. In terms of need, outpatient competency restoration, we don't have that right now. It is a need that we have, but a lot of positive discussion from our group and things that are happening in our area. Thank you.
Super. Thank you very, very much. Now, there was a statewide group. Did they actually meet? Okay. Actually, guys, nobody had to be sat down. Everybody worked within their 3 minutes. Amazing how y'all are following rules today. You know, there were recurring themes. The theme of communication and collaboration is recurring. Some people are doing it good. Some people need to work on that. Really a loud shout out for mental health courts. We have on the books a mental health court roundtable, and that will be the basis of expanding technical assistance. So hopefully we can address the needs of many of the counties on mental health courts. Jail-based restoration is competency restoration is a recurring theme throughout the state. HIPAA issues, we had a great presentation last year on HIPAA issues. We need to do more training on HIPAA. It's a great excuse for not collaborating and not sharing information, but not really a valid when you dig down. Bringing the schools in. The schools are very, very important, and we've had some extraordinary tragedies in the schools across the state. We need to make sure we're bringing them into this discussion. Data, the use of data, keeping data. We need to keep the data to make sure our programs are working, but also to be able to help us get funding from people, to be able to show. The presentation yesterday from Fort Worth showed how many people were not in the jail and what the cost savings was because they were diverting people from the jail. Those are important issues. We actually have a little bit of time. Is there anyone that would either like to say something they're doing in their community that they might mentor somebody else on, or raise a problem that wasn't raised by any of the other groups? This is an extraordinary group of people. Yes, ma'am, right there. Can somebody get her a mic? There's 2 hands right over there. Raise your hand for the mic. There we go.
Thank you, Judge Specia. So my name is Anna Gray. I run a program called Prosumers International, which is an all peer-run, peer-developed empowerment program for people who experience those interruptions in life that have it go a different way. One of the things we talk about is if you've lived long enough, you're recovering from something. So, but one of the things, one is I just acknowledge everybody in the room for all the efforts that are being made to make a difference for people whose lives have been interrupted with what we call mental illness. I just wanted to mention that one of the things that we found very effective is having peer navigators throughout the system.
Right.
So one of the things that I would encourage us to start adding into our conversation is the possibility of peer navigators, especially people who have been in the system. Recovery is possible. We do recover it, and finding, and I know I have peers who have been through the system, who are out there living their dreams, and some of them are now using their life to give back. And so finding them, having them help navigate the system, help be interpreters for what people who are in our system, especially if they're reacting to unseen stimuli, don't know how to speak the language that has the judicial system understand what they're going through.
And that is an absolutely great point, and we need to be talking more about peer navigators.
Yeah, thank
Anybody else? Saw another hand someplace. We got a hand right over there. All right, we'll get the mic to you next. Or go grab one of those.
I think I'm picking up your mic. I'm Louise Joy, and I've been involved in the commission. I'm a healthcare attorney in Austin, Texas, but I represent hospitals all over the state. One of the things that I've heard in various ways is how medications are available, how they're paid for. It's a very disjointed system, and I'm hearing some jails charge the inmates for their meds. So I think that one of the things the commission could be looking at is how is medications available and how are they available afterwards and before and on a consistent basis.
I appreciate that. And Judge Leonard talked about what they're doing in Midland County on that, which is, I think is a very creative approach. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I wanted to just add something that our group spoke about. We were wondering if the commission could create maybe some kind of moderated listserv where a question from this group could come in, you'd post it, and then people could respond with their answers and responses. Hey, I know how to do that, talk to me, here's an answer. So that's just something we wanted to share with the group. Thank you.
That's a great suggestion. Somebody else has got a mic. Yes, ma'am?
Hi, I'm MJ from Hill Country MHD in Uvalde, Region 8. What I see a lot, I do the 1622s at the jail. A lot of our people are not wanting to participate in mental health services because they're getting charged, like you said earlier. They will say something to the regards of, no, if I get $50 from my family, it'll go to the psych eval. I don't want you to do one. And when I do the actual evaluation, it's much needed, you know, and the meds are much needed, and they don't want to do it because of that charge. So it's a problem in our community jails. And the CIT training, that's amazing. We really need to get that out in the community. Everybody needs it, not just everybody. Also recidivism, it's a big deal. Since we're all here in the same room, I believe that we can all join forces and maybe anybody have a program implemented for repeat offenders where we can help them with housing, or we could help them with you know, getting stable, getting a job, getting like, you know, we can.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Way, way in the back. Over, two places. Yes, ma'am. That one's not working. Somebody make that mic work. Let's start over here if that mic works. Somebody have it.
Hi, good morning. I'm Maria Sanchez. I'm the Executive Director for Border Region. And one of the positive things that we're doing that we can mentor on is that we do a lot of telemedicine. We've been doing telemedicine since about 2003. And because we have such a need in South Texas in our Border Region area, right now, with the exception of 2 providers, everything is telemedicine for other counties. And so I have a great IT staff who's interested in mentoring as well, and so I'd like to offer that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Gautier. I'm a magistrate in the Williamson County Jail and associate judge. So our group met with all of the smaller counties, and we're considered kind of small too, but we got together, and one of the things we came up with that we think is going to be really helpful to us is that we're going to start an internal listserv type of email chain between the different counties that Bluebonnet Trails, our local mental health authority, is serviced by. We are blessed to have a really strong and vibrant organization that helps assist us in our jail diversion and many other things. And so it was I love the idea about having one on a statewide level, especially for the rural counties.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else? I'll take one more question. Yeah. 2 more. 3 more. Okay, I got a few minutes. Go ahead. Who's got the mic?
I think the music is a sign that I have to keep this short, but so, you know, I was just thinking about all the excellent work that's being done.
Say who you are.
Oh, sorry. I'm Connie Almeida, and I'm the Director of Behavioral Health Services for Fort Bend County. So one of the things I've noticed over the years is one of the unintended consequences of incarceration of a parent is the separation of family, that often children might end up in the care of CPS because their parent is incarcerated. So I think it's important to look at that, but also think about the benefit of this jail diversion, because not only are you keeping them out of jail, but you're possibly keeping those children and families together. So again, possibly looking at that. And along the same lines, really looking at the impact of incarceration on children and families, and how we can do some things to mitigate that adversity and that stress. I know that the Harris County Sheriff's Office has been looking at that, and we're starting to look at that. But what a great opportunity to include some trauma-focused services for those children.
Thank you, Connie. I think that's a great idea. And a great collaboration. We work very closely with the Children's Commission, and that kind of sounds like a nice thing for them to be doing. Over here.
I'm LaShonda Strather with the Dallas County Public Defender's Office, the Mental Health Division. And I just wanted to speak a word to encourage you all, especially criminal defense attorneys, whether you're with the Public Defender's Office or the private bar, to seek additional try to get another stab at that apple and trying to get your client out of jail. Don't just stop at the magistrate hearing, because like my counterpart mentioned earlier, there's that other clause for a way out. Consider maybe getting some case managers or finding out what additional services your local mental health authority has to reach your client on that level. We heard a little bit of talk yesterday about level of care services 3 and 4. And in our area, those intensive case management services really help our clients. Sometimes they provide transportation, which is a very big issue for some of our clients getting around. Money for transportation is an issue, and so they assist in those areas. And so if your judge has concerns about your client showing up to court later, if you're able to get them engaged in that service and your local mental health authority on board with saying, yes, they qualify for this extra intensive case management service, create an exit plan for your client to agree to and sign off on. Get your prosecutor involved, show that exit plan to your judge. Judge, they're willing to do X, Y, and Z when they don't even have to. Let's get them started addressing these issues, and we can maybe come up with a better outcome disposition-wise in the case in the end. And I think your judges may be more willing to consider a PR bond even at that point, whether your case is filed or not, if you don't get it at the magistrate hearing.
Okay, thank you. I'm absolutely amazed by the diversity of this crowd and what's going on all across the state of Texas. It's exciting. Now, this is hard work, and sometimes when we talk about programs, we don't talk about the blemishes or the hard stuff. And I've had people say, that's not reality, that's not what's really happening. Well, we need to have those hard discussions, and those hard discussions are best had locally. Where are the roadblocks? Also, every time you fix one part of the system and you move one pain point, you may move the pain point to another part of the system and cause more trouble for someone else. So I think one of the things, when I was commissioner of the Department of Family and Protective Services, I told my staff is, you will get in trouble with me for one thing: leaving the table. Collaboration is hard, and it's really easy sometimes just to pick up your chips and leave. But staying at the table and having the hard discussions and talking about how we can make sustainable progress is what's important. I'm not going to get the Arthur Ashe quote right, but it was start where you are, use what you have, and make progress. And I think that's very important. We have about 100 judges here. Use your convening power. You do not have to do everything. But you can call together people, and they can do a lot of stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, are you going to introduce the sheriff? Okay. Our concluding speaker, and we're actually running a little bit early, is Sheriff Dennis D. Wilson.